What's up, family? Welcome back to an all new episode of Point of View. Joining us today, we have our girl Danielle back at the table.
Hey, girl.
Girl,
Love
how you
that pink.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Happy to have
No,
you.
I love the pink for real, baby. It's doing something to me.
Yes.
It's doing something to you. Let me borrow that.
It matched the logo. Period.
Okay. Well, coming up on today's show, two New Orleans inmates are still on the run, and one of them, Antoine Massey, just popped up on social media asking for help. But y'all wait until y'all hear who he's been reaching out to. And later, in Girlfriend's Guide and Unpopular Opinion, we have Girlfriend's Guide and Unpopular Opinion coming up later, so don't go anywhere. Come on in. Join the discussion, and if you're watching us live on social media, feel free to hop in our chat so we can read y'all comments. But you're watching POV. Okay, so not only is Antoine Massey one of the two inmates who escaped from the New Orleans jail, and still, as we speak, he is on the run, y'all. But now he's popping up on social media, posting videos and claiming he's innocent. Let's take a look.
Why was I even incarcerated? Would a woman said that this never happened? This is this woman's name. That's why I left the jail. And they have a lot more brothers that's innocent, just like me, that's trying to prove their innocence. That's why they ran. Orleans Parish and St. Tammany is one of the corruptest parishes in the world. This is something that needs to go under a federal investigation. So I'm asking, please, for help. Young boy, Meek Mills, people that been through the system that know it's corrupt. Lil Wayne, Donald Trump, please, I'm asking for help. You know what I'm saying? When I get back in custody, I'm asking y'all, please, to come and help.
Antoine. Antoine, Mr. Massey. You know what? Like, you almost had us going. I promise you almost had us going till you started naming people like Donald Trump, Lil Wayne, Young Boy, Meek Mills. You know, like, what? I don't understand. Like, if we're gonna really be serious and ask somebody for help, like, why are we?
And I actually believe him, but I feel like in the position he's in right now, it's like right thing, wrong messenger. Because he's saying that they let him out. Nobody believes that. First of all, no shade, but you escaped.
Okay, so,
nobody let you out. Open the door and let you out. Like,
right, y'all broke out.
Still while behind the toilet. Right. Even if you had help, because they probably had some help from the inside, but still you broke out. The way they was running across that freeway.
The
toilet.
You escaped. So, let's be for real. Like, I believe that they are probably corrupt. Some people are, have done X, Y, and Z. We know that there are so many people that are incarcerated that actually are innocent.
Right.
So, I understand. It might not be him and his story, but yeah, wrong person to say that message and to fight for that.
So let me ask y'all something. If someone you knew escaped from jail and claimed they were let out, would you believe them?
Absolutely not. Because who let you out?
No.
The government let them out so that they can go snitch on
not.
other people in the hood. That's normally how it goes.
If you
They
walked
let them
out,
but they let them out.
If you walked out, them doors with your dad.
yes,
Cool.
Okay.
then I can believe you. But if you you escaped, you
If you
walked
went
out
through a wall
behind the toilet.
toilet,
You still got on your jumpsuit.
I can't believe it.
Okay,
so
and
my
you running,
thing
and we see you on camera running.
Right, I can't
I
believe
kind
it.
of said this the other day, and I know that it is a little bit far-fetched, but I like to think that we could possibly be living in the modern day Bible stories that will be told. Like, how we know they not Daniel and the lions then? How we know they not Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? How we know God didn't open the toilet and let them out?
Because they've already been caught, except for one.
Okay.
That's
We
cute.
wouldn't still be looking for him if that was the case. I don't think so.
My advice to Antoine Massey is, baby, cut that signature 3 dread ponytail off the top of your head. Get you a spray tan, honey.
Yes, get
okay,
that off your face.
and lay low. Okay, lay low.
You saw that, like, some of
the
these
way he
comments.
be all over social media.
But is this the same one that went swimming last week, or is this a different guy?
Yes, this is
him.
him.
Oh yes, he has been busy.
His social media busier than mine.
So maybe they let him out, because if he's swimming and all in the kitchen, why they ain't caught him yet?
No, look, you see some of the comments that was like, baby, the way that they would have been like a whole nother person with a wig and a dress on and would have completely transformed.
Right.
Like some of them, they still got the same face.
Exactly the
to
same.
when you
That's what I'm
escape.
saying. You got your tattoos. You got your. I'm sure you still had that 3-dread ponytail when you walked out. They see you coming a mile away.
Stop. Listen, y'all, would you risk jail time to help a loved one escape if they claimed they were wrongly imprisoned?
No.
No.
Don't
I
even.
would help them from the outside while they inside. I can't help you being on a run and then I'm risking jail time.
No.
It's
But what if
either
they
you or
ran
me.
straight to you? They was like,
You
I
got to
need
go
some help,
someplace
sister.
else.
You're gonna be like,
I'm about to call on you.
Y'all not gonna help?
they're gonna be like,
So when I blink my eye-
them people back in the day where they give them 2 biscuits and send them on their way in the middle of the night.
Now, what if this was y'all man? You wouldn't help your man?
No, I'm not going to jail for
The
nobody.
hesitation is real. Y'all wouldn't help y'all man?
I'm not going to jail for no one.
Okay, Raquel said, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm not saying what I will and will not do, because y'all not gonna get me to incriminate myself, honey. Whatever the Lord called me to do in that moment, I ain't have to
You brought
do
the
it.
Lord in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, so how
I'm
do
sure
y'all
he'd
think
stay
law
home.
enforcement will respond now that Antoine has taken to social media?
They don't care nothing about it. They're
don't.
the one that I'm sure, have wrongfully imprisoned him, if that's the case, and have maybe been harsh to him while he was incarcerated. They just want him back in their custody so they can get that $30 a day.
And at the end of the day, like,
$30?
Whatever it is, the prisons get paid. I'm sure it's more than that, but that's how much it a lot of times it costs as an inmate.
but at the end of the day, like, regardless of anything, he's an escaped inmate. So they don't care
He
about
already
none
did
of
the
that.
time.
Or either.
They don't
Yeah.
care about. They care about probably like the safety of other people, because like now that you're out and all this, no one knows what you're willing to do to stay out.
Right.
Who you can kill, who you can rough up, who you can
Right.
steal from, break in their houses, all kinds of stuff. So at the end of the day, they're trying to catch him again. And that's all that matters.
think
It don't
he a threat
matter. It don't matter
still.
what he says.
Because he broke out.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me
Wow.
sad though, because it makes me feel like, how like back in the day, slavery times, how they tried to demonize the slave.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I feel it's the same situation. I'm not gonna lie. When I be seeing people escaping and getting away, it's something inside me get a little excited.
Be like, go. I
Didn't
know.
they say that like majority of them were like most
Because
of
they
them were
demonize
murderers?
people so much.
Yeah, they do.
It's hard to not want to root for
They
someone
do,
trying
but
to get
didn't
away.
they say that majority of them were like murderers?
And I get that 100%.
So, I mean-
but we shop in the grocery store, the gas station, and the church house.
It could
Next
be
to a murder
murderers
every day.
Right.
Right.
Well, Antoine, stay off social media, boy.
Please. They're gonna find that IP address.
Antoine, just don't do any more crimes, please. Don't do
They gonna catch
anything.
him. Now
They are.
Even though this is a crime.
They're gonna
but
be
don't hurt
doing
anyone.
OT to catch him.
Antoine, we wish you the best, honey. We got to move on to something a bit more uplifting.
Yes.
Amen.
Okay, because graduation season is here. 18-year-old Michael Baker from Georgia went viral after showing up to work at Burger King in his cap, gown, and his medals.
Period.
Just hours after graduating high school. A mother by the name of Maria Mendoza saw him, made a TikTok that blew up, and started a GoFundMe for his college tuition.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That GoFundMe has now raised over $186,000.
Wow.
Now he can go to any school he's accepted into. Like, what? A beautiful
Yay!
story.
That is a great
That's
story.
amazing.
Like, I love when TikToks blow up.
Yeah,
but
the
right
they
reason
do
like that.
something good,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
in return. I love that. Michael, I hope you grow up to be something so inspiring.
Yeah.
No,
And he
Really?
not allegedly, but supposedly he already is, because he was saying that it meant so much to him because he tries to put so much good out into the world. And so, he was very
Yes.
emotional, saying
wow.
how
He's
grateful he was.
dedicated.
Yeah, that the good that he does is actually seen, and that, he has
Awesome.
received a
'Cause
reward
he's
for
better
that.
than me, because ain't no way I would be at work on my graduation day.
Well, if you worked at Burger King, you would have, baby. Because it ain't nothing
You
but
could
two
have
workers
requested
there.
off. And it would have been, what do people say, PTO prepare the others? Maybe it would have been another person.
Right.
Well,
I'd have been at the graduation
reliable.
parties. I'd have been at
Paying,
the...
but
He's
hopefully
reliable.
you don't never have to go back. I'm sorry,
And
but you
dependable.
lost the one.
You lost a real one.
Okay.
Well, maybe he'll own Burger King.
Hello,
Hopefully.
come on,
Yeah.
speak
And he'll do
it.
that.
They're going to need somebody to buy it, because Burger King's a dying breed, baby.
I'm done. So
He's creative. He'll bring it back. Ingenuity.
would y'all keep working right after your graduation ceremony?
No.
I ain't gonna
Depends
lie,
on what
I
it is.
probably would have.
Yeah.
The next day, maybe that day, at like hours after.
I ain't gonna lie,
no.
honey. I'm there with you. I would go
Yeah,
the
no,
next day.
absolutely
I'm gonna
not.
enjoy this. I'm gonna celebrate
Hello?
with my family. I'm gonna go have fun.
I think
I'm
it
taking the
depends
day.
on what the job
that's a big,
was.
Yes.
you know, that's a big accomplishment.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
taking the day. He graduated high school and went straight to work.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's dedication. Though, like I don't
Very
fault him.
dedicated,
I love
yeah.
that for him, but as for me, it would.
I'm happy also that the Mendoza that she like took the initiative to like
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this positive story out
Yes.
about this young man
And
being
start a
dedicated
GoFundMe.
and start
Yes.
a GoFundMe. And it's nice to see that people gave money
Yes.
to something positive.
Yes.
You know, we hear it so much the opposite
You
way,
can give that
but
money to
positive.
the people in jail
yes.
and stuff. Get them people some money
They
to go
give
to
money
college.
to anybody, child. They gave money to that
Anybody.
racist woman that
That
was out
woman
there
called
in
a
the
little
park.
5-year-old
And
an
that boy.
N-word.
Come on.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is start a GoFundMe. So
I'ma
let's
start
do this
one.
now. Someone start a GoFundMe for POV. We would like some money.
Oh Lord, they gonna think we.
I am not playing with y'all.
Wait a minute.
We want to grow. We want to grow individually, be
we
better.
aspire to be
Wait a
better for
minute.
Yes.
you.
For
at
you.
home.
That's
So-
right.
They gonna talk about us in the
Get us
comments
some
today.
money.
Y'all don't listen to
Talk
these fools.
with some money.
Pay us with your Patreons and continue to watch the show.
Hello,
right. I like it.
viewership.
And drop a coin in our GoFundMe. Thank you. So, have you ever had to choose between celebrating a milestone and handling responsibilities?
Yeah, I always have. I remember as a hairstylist, even for my birthday, I used to get fussed out all the time by my family because midnight, when it's about to turn my birthday, I would still be giving somebody the curls of their life.
Yes, like
Literally.
That's why you start doing hair.
That's why, baby. That's why I thought. I'm like, too many New Year's, but I done brought it in the wrong way. I can't even celebrate with my family because I'm worried about y'all making it to the club.
And
Not
they
the
did.
club.
Maybe
Well,
they still
listen,
in the chair
y'all,
at 12.
We gotta take a short commercial break, but when we get back, we'll be back with Girlfriend's Guide and Mind, Body, and Soul. So stay tuned. You're watching POV.
Hello, POV family out there in social media world. Thank you for joining us. We have a question for you today. When is the right time to delete or block someone's phone number?
When they got you messed up.
Right away.
Yeah, don't let them play with you more than once.
We're protecting our peace around here.
Yeah.
Hello.
I mean, I like
Because you knew better.
when the last person, like, you know, I didn't date much, but, you know, break up, I decided that I wasn't going to block anybody. I said, you know, from now on, I'm just not going to block anybody. You know not to call me.
And
you
then-
know what you did. But then if they call, yes, I am considering I better start blocking them so they can't contact me at all. I don't want to
My
talk to
block
you no
list
more.
looks like the club.
I'm not a blocker, but like I just feel like anything that's just like too much, or like you said, protecting your peace, or anything that you're just
That is how I
then
protect
block.
my
But
peace.
I
don't want to
don't
see
block.
you.
I don't really
I don't
have
want
to.
to see you. I don't want to hear from you. That is exactly how I protect my peace.
You ain't wrong.
And you got to
gone.
protect it.
Yeah, my thing back in the day used to be changing my own phone number until I realized the importance of credit and that I had too many numbers on my credit report.
Yikes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, y'all heard it here.
Who knew the
Please
two and two?
put your comments below so we can read them, talk about them, laugh about them. But come on back. We're getting ready to get back into the show. Thank you.
Welcome back. This is the part of the show where we get into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. Okay, guys, so we came across this viral video titled, "My Fiance Needed to Get Closure from Her Ex Before We Get Married." Let me paint the picture for you as we play the video in the background. This couple is on the road to marriage, but the bride-to-be says she can't fully move forward until she gets closure with her ex. And get this, her fiance actually takes her to the ex's house so she can get the closure she says she needs for a happy marriage. Now, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I'm not taking my ex to nobody's house because they feel like they need closure. Honey, you should have got that closure before we got in this relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
Before we even got to this point where we are engaged. Why you just now? And why is it this ex? Because I know this is not your only ex. So why is it this ex that you feel like you need to go get closure from right now in order to have a happy marriage with me?
Listen,
Sound like you're trying to spin a block.
I want to say, to me, in my opinion, okay? I'm not, Lord God is using me. He's molding me and changing me every day. And I don't want to make this black and white because I love my white brothers and sisters. But this has got to be part of the definition of white privilege because I just cannot imagine a black man taking his black woman to go get close to black man's house. For one. And for two, I believe that if you're at a point in your life where you still need closure, you are not ready to be married.
Exactly.
You're not. Because forget that, babe. Move on.
But that's why she was getting the closure, so she can move on.
No,
So she's like,
you need to be emotionally healthy and responsible
Before
enough
she
to
got
move
into that
on without the closure.
Oh, yeah.
But even
Before
if you
you get
needed
in any
closure,
relationship.
you needed to get closure before you hopped your behind in another
a relationship.
relationship. Even the talking stage, whatever, before you fully moved on, you should have got that closure.
Yeah.
That should have told him we're not ready to get married. And you
Exactly.
can actually go spin the block and go back with him.
He happily took her over there.
he was being supportive.
Imagine she
No.
went inside.
But she probably did go
Because he was
inside.
still in the car.
But
So how
wanna
we
be
know
like,
this
how
man
you
didn't give
doing,
you the
babe?
kiss of death in that house?
because they were outside. That's what we saw. We saw that outside.
So do y'all think closure is another word for unfinished business?
Precisely, my dear.
Sometimes I feel
think
like
so.
closure. I feel like in some situations, closure can be a
Situational.
good thing. Not
Yes.
in this situation where you're
agree.
already in another relationship, but prior to
agree.
moving on or like
Yes.
just trying to figure out your feelings and where you're gonna move to and whatever.
Yes.
Closure can be good and healing
Yes.
for some people in some situations.
From
I
and
agree
within yourself,
sometimes.
not
Correct.
looking for that outside of yourself.
Yeah,
Correct.
I agree. Sometimes closure is good, but I also think that in this situation specifically, like,
Just in the
girl,
middle
y'all
of
about to
sex.
get like you're a fiance.
Yeah.
Why do you need to have any type of conversation? Then if y'all actually watch the video, if it happens to pop up on your social media, she actually got back in that car.
And
She
was
said-
crying.
She was crying her eyes out, and she was like, "I think it was good." Like she thinks the conversation
Well, he
went
don't
good.
even know how to ask him how it was. So.
And she's hoping for a friendship to continue
Yeah.
after this.
She said that. She did. She did.
How do y'all feel about exes being friends?
I think you can be
I
friends.
think it can happen, but I'm
Y'all
friends
paused
with
way
exes,
too long.
so-
The pause was too long.
I think you can be friends.
Okay.
But and
Again,
so
it's
maybe that's
situational
why that
again.
closure
It's
needed to
situational.
happen, and then they can be friends. I mean, we should be able to trust people to be friends with someone else.
I have exes that I'm cool with, and I have exes that I
Yeah.
don't.
Maybe it's
deal
not the
with,
ex I don't
so-
trust. Maybe it's me. Anyways, so you want to start a new chapter if the last one isn't fully closed?
No, you cannot.
No, I think
I
you
don't
need to
think so.
slam
Well,
that door.
honestly,
Be
in
done.
the day and age that we're in, people do it all the time. They start new things, but I feel like the right way to do it is to close that door
Yes.
Correct.
and heal yourself and then find yourself, and
Yeah.
then jump back into the dating scene.
I think you're right. Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
You thinking hard.
I'm not thinking hard about anything. I'm ready to move on in a minute because
Okay, at what point does honesty in a relationship start feeling like disrespect?
Here's the thing. I feel like I feel like everything be situational, but like I'm a person that respects honesty, and
For sure.
I need you be
Even if it's
real,
hurtful.
right? If I'm gonna let me decide if I'm going to accept it, deal
Give
with
me
it
the
or
choice.
not. But
Yes.
some people say they want honesty, and then when they get honesty,
people,
they're
Then they don't want
mad.
Yes.
it. Right.
I can't relate to that. I might be in my feelings a little bit, but for the most part, I'm be like, okay, you kept it real with me, like respect.
I respect people so much more when they're honest because
Correct.
you give me the choice.
Correct.
You give me the choice to choose. Okay, do I want to deal with this or do I just want to be like, you know what? Like, I think we should just be friends, and I'm gonna go this way because that is something that I'm not willing to deal with.
Exactly.
Well, I want you to be honest with me, whether I'm going to be mad or not.
Correct.
I might be mad.
Yeah.
But I mean, you gotta just be willing to understand that
Accept
based
that.
on whatever
We all
it
not
is.
the same
That's
person
my
with the
reaction.
same feelings and thoughts.
Right.
Yeah.
And I might be mad, but please be honest with me regardless.
Hold on, Raquel. I think Tally got something she want to.
Oh, you saw the fingers?
Yes,
move?
tally.
So what I, do want to say is, when we talk about honesty in relationships, I feel like a big missing piece of the puzzle is that, people think that your words or however you're verbalizing that you honestly feel in that moment, too often it is like accepted as law. And I feel like because people aren't maybe emotionally intelligent enough to know that I should be able to express the way that I feel right now, but we should both be open to know that even the way that I feel could be wrong. So I just need to be, free to express it so that we can unpack it to even realize if these are real feelings.
Or they may change.
Right. So maybe I'm misunderstanding what I think I feel. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying once that happens, you all discuss it, and then you can determine, like you say, unpack it and determine then, well, maybe I don't feel that way
Exactly.
now that we've discussed it with each other.
And too
Well, that's a
often
good
people
communication.
on the other side of it, they get caught up immediately in offense that they can't even realize and analyze what you're saying to see if it even makes sense or if something happened to where maybe you're misunderstanding and maybe you're misfeeling.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good communication. Well, that's the communication that we get. I guess we get to that point when we're mature
There it is.
in our
There
communication.
it is.
All right, y'all. Well, we got to move on. We're going to switch things up and get into our final segment, which is mind, body, and
So, thank you for that.
all right. So we all love a good comeback story, right? But what happens when just stay positive becomes a mask for real pain? A new article is calling out the fine line between healthy resilience and something more dangerous, toxic resilience. It's the pressure to keep pushing, smiling, and coping even when you're breaking inside. So how do we know when strength turns into silence?
I think maybe I don't know if I completely get the last part of the question or the analogy between strength and silence, but the four part I did get, and I feel like that's why I thank God so much for a strong community and godly friends and godly counsel, because that was a place that, because my mom always taught us to put our best foot forward and to never look like what you're going through.
Right.
That maybe for a while I was operating in toxic resilience, and I prided myself on being resilient and just keep going and going and going. But now having, the right tools and resources and a healthy mindset and people that you can count on to lift you up, even in prayer, just to really unpack that and realize that, life is heavy. Like, our traumas, things that we go through is heavy, but we can literally leave it all in God, just like leave it there, and he will carry those burdens for us so that we're able to truly be resilient and take out the toxicity.
When I hear that, I'm kind of interpreting it toxic resilience like things are happening and you're not exactly dealing with it. You know this is happening, but like a moment of grieving, you're not taking that moment to grieve. You're not doing the process. And grieving, that time is different for everyone.
Right.
But I think when we don't take the time to grieve and to let that happen, feel it.
Like,
Sometimes
feel the
you have to
feelings,
feel the hurt. You have to just go through that so you can come out on the other side way better than when you started. Grow through it. That's right. And when we don't do that, I think we allow that to come back later and catch us.
Yeah.
Because later on it will come back and it will knock you over if you have not dealt with it. And I think a lot of times people aren't grieving or taking that time, and that's what happens to them later down the road.
Honestly, they described a black woman.
Having to be resilient.
Having to act like everything is okay when it's not, dealing with family, taking care of people, working, society, like so many different things, and you're just taught or told you have to deal with, you have to be okay with it, and you have to push through everything. You don't have time to sit in it. You don't have time to actually feel it and have emotions, et cetera, et cetera. So like, And I
You're
hate
so
that.
strong, you become silent. I think that's
Yeah.
what that was in the beginning. Like you're so strong.
You don't ask for help.
That
You don't
Right.
just
cry
become,
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just become silent and you just keep going and going
Yeah.
and going.
Yeah, and I think that also describes a black man, you
Yeah,
know, a lot,
absolutely.
you know. And so I was on social media the other day and I saw this woman, I wish I remember her name, but she was talking about, you know, how we were really done a disservice in school by being taught like 5 or 6 emotions, you know, basic ones, sadness, happiness, angry, things like that. And so those are the core emotions that we go through or to, you know, in chaos or times that anything's going on in our life. And that there are about 60 other emotions that we don't even know about.
60.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. I don't know the accuracy of that, but she said, yeah, there's about 60 other emotions that we're not even taught. And so, you know, we're mismanaging our emotions because we're only using about 6 of them. So we spend so much time in anger when it's not even anger, it's grief.
Wow.
You've been
Yeah,
preaching
just
today.
being hurt. Yeah.
Those weren't my words, but, you know, thank you.
Wow. Today was really good, guys. I learned something.
Yes.
I didn't know we had 60 different
I had no
clue.
clue.
Those things.
Yeah, she has a book too, so I'll find it and send it to you. Maybe I'll get a copy for myself.
Please.
Okay.
And then we'll let y'all at home know. But that is a wrap for today's show. But before we sign off, we'll leave you with a quote of the day. Define success on your own terms, achieve it by your own rules, and build a life you're proud to live. And that, my friends, is Michelle Obama. Thanks
great.
for hanging out with us today. We'll catch you next time right here, only on Afro TV.